Thank you so much, Mr. Osotsi, and welcome to Tuko.co.ke. Kindly briefly tell us about yourself, where you were born, and where you went to school.
In Vihiga County, and I'm an economist by training, and I practice in information technology. So I am so passionate about information technology, very passionate, and I'm also very passionate about the economy.
Tell us or share with us some of your agendas that you have prepared for this country.
Thank you so much. Now, the reason why some of us looked at, I took my time since 2014 up to today. I took my time, and now I will I look at government policy as they execute it. I look at our institutions as they execute government policy. I will look at how this policy is impacting on our society. Yeah, you have government policy being executed by politicians at the top through what you call fiscal policy, and then you have the central bank and implementing what you call the monetary policy, and then you look at the impact these policies are having on people, and then you realize that there is no impact. Some of us have spent so much money helping friends, helping strangers, because these people have tried everywhere they can to access basic services. They can't access loans. You cannot access. Basically, we are in a moribund. If shit happens to any one of us today, and I'm saying shit because it's something that happens and you didn't expect and it hits you so hard, yeah, then you're like, okay, where do I begin from? And it happens to any one of you today. It happens to any one of us today, then you'll be forced to go back to your friends because the government has not provided a safety net for the taxpayers. They might say we have an HIF, but the rates for NHIF were increased and the services have remained mediocre. Yeah? So there is no value in the increase in the rates by NHIF. There is no value because immediately these rates were increased, we started hearing scandals. In fact, right now, those scandals have never been addressed. And so you find you want to tell us we have provided free Medicare, but Peter, has to still changia someone to go abroad to seek cancer treatment. We have cancer machines, but where it's one thing to have jembes in store and it's one thing to have workers use the jembes. So we have the cancer machines, but they cannot be used. You get it?
So specifically yourself, what are you going to, very briefly, what are you going to offer to Kenyans so that they can elect you as their president?
No, I'm just going to that.
What are you going to offer to them, very briefly, because of time?
Now I have a 16-point manifesto, and the 16-point manifesto is going to address, in brief, is going to address food security. It's going to address industries. It's going to address housing and infrastructure. It's going to address railways and roads. It's going to address banking and finance. It's going to address urban master plans for all our cities and towns, all our urban areas. We are going to have new master plans for them. And we are going to have a new look at the sports and recreation. And we are going to have a new look at Vision 2030. And we are going to have a new master plan for the Northern Kenya region. And we are going to look at afresh at our employment. All these policies are geared towards making employment, job creation. All these policies are geared towards job creation, but we are not going directly to attack job creation. We are going to use those points we've talked about. We are going to look at education, and we are going to look at land management, afresh. And we are going to look at our health care. And we are going to look at how our oil is used. And we are going to look at devolution.
Kindly address the issue of the high cost of living. The prices of unga have gone up. The high prices of sugar has gone up. Basically, the cost of living is very high. So please share with us what you think should be done to ease the cost of living to Kenyans.
Right now, what the president needs to do is to, number one, and that's very important, not to focus on the immediate. Let him not be clouded by what is immediate, because number one, even if there is no more grain in the country, okay, there is no more, Kenyans eat grain, so there is no more grain in the country. So if you focus on what is there now, it can only be done like the treasury, the people in charge of importing grain have said, you can only ease this burden in 2 months, okay? So if you focus on what you are supposed to do today, you will get frustrated. But now you focus on what you call mitigation. Build the future so that you don't have this. And the only way we will never repeat the same thing that we have today is to respect the institutions. Let the institutions do their job. The president is supposed to be the CEO of those institutions. He is called the chief executive officer of the country because this country has institutions. If the president is the head of those institutions and he can be able to help them in making the right policy, you will never hear of hunger. Because we have disaster preparedness authority. It can be able to foresee. What is the job of the meteorological department? They can be able to foresee there will be drought. So the disaster guys can plan for it. What is the point of having a strategic grain reserve when you only have maybe 1 million bags in there?
Thank you so much. Finally, within 1 minute, I want you to face this camera and tell Kenyans why they should vote for you. In just 1 minute, why they should vote for you.
The people of Kenya, throughout my life, I've worked to improve the welfare of our people. Tumechangisha pesa, tumesaidiana, wengine wakiwa chini, tunasaidiana. Na sasa imefika mahali, naona shida itaendelea kuongezeka. Kwa sababu kuna ile mikakati ambayo imewekwa yenye haiaddress wananchi. Ina address issues that don't matter to Kenyans now. And what we need to do right now is to develop a framework where we have a long-term solution to the problems Kenyans have now. Kenyans have a problem with unemployment. Kenyans have a problem with the institutions that are collapsing. And the symptoms of these institutions that are collapsing is lack of food, lack of employment, and so much. And so for me, what I'm coming in to revive the institutions. The institutions are the ones which need to be addressed. Everything else is fine. So once we address the institutions, the parastatals that we have, then the economy will start coming up again. And so I want to be elected by the people of Kenya to watch over your wealth. I'm not interested, if they want not to pay me for the 5 years, I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind if I'm not paid for the 5 years. But what I'm interested in is to see that the institutions come up and they are doing the job which they were tasked to do. Treasury should be able to look after the policies that they have been put in place, and the central bank also should be able to look at the policies that have been put in place to address the various issues they are supposed to address. But as long as we interfere in the institutions, then we will never achieve what we want to achieve.
Thank you so much.